A WWE Star was considered for a major MCU role in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. An AEW star is set to undergo career-threatening surgery. And we got an update on William Regal's AEW status. Ooh, juicy. Stay tuned for all the deets. So we already heard about Bobby Lashley's dalliances, or kind of, early dipping a toe into the world of acting, the offers that were coming in before he felt ready to do it. But keeping it with the Hollywood side of things, and having just come back from Hollywood myself.
Did you turn down any film roles?
All of them. Just couldn't get Spielberg away from me. Wow. Shoving him off my leg. He just wouldn't leave me. I had to go to a Target to lose him. This comes from Fightful Select. This comes from Fightful Select. Damian Priest was asked to read for the role of Namor in the MCU, or at least in Marvel's Wakanda Forever Black Panther 2. And, Namor is the main antagonist in that film. But this would be a role as one of the other members of Talokan, and it's unknown if Priest actually read for the role, but Marvel Studios did indeed make an inquiry. Priest ended up not being involved in the film. In Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Namor is the king of Talokan, an ancient underwater civilization, and is played by Mexican actor Tenoch Huerta. Namor is also the first anti-hero in comics. He is one of the biggest deals in that respect.
Marvel's first mutant.
Yeah, he's the mutant child of a sailor and an Atlantean woman, right? Yes. An Atlantean princess, and it gives him mermaid abilities, so he's able to be underwater, and he's able to exist underwater. But at the same time, it gives him strength and the ability to fight. And also, he's just an angry man. And it's somebody who I think Damian Priest just lines up with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah,
because Tenoch Huerta was incredible in the film. But yeah, I feel like Damian Priest would be a good fit in that. I think if they're just make him Namor, but in WWE, give him a Namor.
Just paint some gills on him.
Yeah,
they're very similar. I feel in terms of that kind of brooding, because you never really know. As I said, with Namor being the first anti-hero in Marvel, his motivations are very unclear. They're often very self-motivated or for the preservation of his people, and he doesn't care to what he has to do and to what end he's got to go to get it. And I think that, it's that ominous, brooding sort of mood that Priest could have brought to that quite nicely.
Yeah, I think he would have done that.
It's cool that he's getting the offers, though, because he's somebody where, when I saw him in Cardiff, when we interviewed him, he was just in sunglasses, just looked like a movie star.
Oh, he's absolutely
already
so cool.
He's taller than I've ever seen. I was just like, what the hell?
Eventually, I think we will see him transfer over to film and stuff. Yeah. He's got, as you said, he looks like a movie star. He's got that look. He's got that incredibly deep voice that you could he's a villain.
You can just hear that reverb and the volume of it in a cinema and it hitting you in the chest.
But it's interesting, Marvel looking at him and going, oh, we could have him for Namor.
Again, wrestlers, very unique, height, build, abilities for their size as well, quite a lot of the time. You look at somebody like even Vader. Somebody that size that can move that quickly. I don't know what role he could have in Marvel in the future, but I think if they've come calling this far at this point, being like, maybe we might see him in there mixing it up. But go and see Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. It's a very good film. So keeping it with WWE, it's Survivor Series tonight, and last night's SmackDown determined the Survivor Series advantage, which is of course the most important thing going into any Survivor Series premium live event ever. But the show saw the team of the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, earn their team advantage going into tonight's War Games match. Drew and Sheamus managed to put away the Usos with a little bit of help from Owens. It's War Games advantage, but I think it's not really going to matter once everybody's in there and it turns to hell. Pretty much. They can't win until everyone's in the match anyway. Yeah. It's just interesting to see the face team get the advantage. You would expect the heel team to have that going in, especially with it being the bloodline. I think it'll come down to Zayn maybe being the last one of the early ones in there, and him and Owens. It's either that or Zayn comes in last and he's got some dastardly scheme.
Possibly, yeah. I'm really excited for this match. It should be a ton of fun.
Yeah,
I love a War Games
I just
match.
love War Games, so yeah, I'm all for it. But just looking at the card as it stands, we've got the women's War Games match. So Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. We've got the SmackDown Women's Championship, which is Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. We've got the US Championship, which is Rollins, who's the current champion, versus Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. We've got AJ versus Finn, Battle of the Bullet Club leaders. We've got men's War Games, Drew, Sheamus, Butch, Ridge, and Big Kev versus Roman, the Usos, Solo, and Sammy. And it's just, I mean, Christ.
It's a good card.
Yeah,
it's strong.
The first Survivor Series in a long time I've been very excited to catch.
I think I was maybe more excited for War Games than I was Full Gear last weekend. Just purely because I feel like the main event here is just like all the top stars. Let's just put everyone in there. I might stay up and watch it.
I think I'm probably gonna.
I need to watch it live. I need to watch that live.
Well, keeping it with WWE, we've got a bit of a situation going on with Randy Orton being injured. There's been kind of speculation that he may be returning slightly earlier. There's been speculation that it might be worse. It's all just kind of the standard fare you'd expect for injury stories at the moment, where, you know, we're just kind of hearing bits and pieces from various people along the chain. But a new report at Fightful Select provides a significant update on Randy Orton, who's been out since May with an injury. Earlier reports had Orton sidelined from WWE throughout the end of this year, but the new update indicates that there's no timetable on a return for Orton now. Fightful's report claims that Orton had fusion surgery in his lower back, and the report goes on to say there were some in WWE that told us they'd be fortunate to have him back after such a long career, and the significance of the injury, which is very hard to process, I think. Like, Randy Orton is somebody who... I don't know, he just works so seamlessly that you kind of fail to take in the fact that, you know, he must be really suffering, you know, with injuries and stuff because of the length of time he's been going at it.
I mean, he's hardly ever injured in the grand scheme of things. He's one of those guys that has worked. And that's the other thing.
It's sort of like it's not like he's out there, you know, routinely doing things that are really causing himself any danger.
It's just, I guess, all these bumps over the years just build up and build up. But he's worked, as I said, a relatively safe style. He's managed to have a really, really long career. Hopefully, we'll see him back in there, because it's horrible to see like a report coming out being like, we don't know when he's coming back. Yeah,
and he's an incredible talent, and it would not be a talent that, you know, you'd ever want to lose. It's Randy Orton.
It's Randy Orton.
You know, there's nobody like him.
We feel like there's maybe unfinished business, him and Riddle. We need to see the end of that story. But oh God, I hope he's okay. I hope he's coming back soon.
Well, here's my seg, which is nowhere near as cool as Fraser's from earlier. The Cultaholic Black Friday sale is now on. If you've been looking for any merchandise, if you're wanting to get something for somebody for Christmas, if you want anything that's signed...
Anything signed like these?
Signed like these posters. We've got candles that smell like absolute death.
Yep.
We've got caps. We've got Blart socks. We've got stickers. There is all sorts of stuff, but it's all up there, 50% off, and you don't need to apply any code. You just get to the checkout, and it's automatically applied for you there. Cultaholicshop.com for all of your Cultaholic merchandise needs at 50% off. Get on it while it lasts.
Oh my God.
Quite the saving.
It's like DFS.
But now to move back into another story regarding a very serious injury, potentially a career-threatening injury, this time on the AEW side of things. Dustin Rhodes has admitted that his full-time career may be drawing to a close, revealing that he needs double knee replacement surgery. A veteran with over 35 years of experience, Rhodes is currently signed to AEW as a performer and coach, and revealed on Talk Is Jericho just how much of a toll wrestling has taken on his body. He says, I look at Ric Flair, his supposed last match, I don't want to do that. Rhodes told Chris Jericho that so long as I can get out of the business and still walk, because I do need a couple of knee replacements, but that's fine. I'll get the knee replacements. I'll be fine. I'll be able to walk around. But I just remember getting in the business and seeing a couple of the old timers on walkers and in wheelchairs, and I'm like, I don't want to get to that point. And we've heard this from AJ Styles before. Like, the important thing is to be able to walk away from your career, and the emphasis is on the word walk, because you see it all too often, and it's just sad. You know, as you said, years and years of bumps just build up and take a toll on the body, and you don't ever want to see your heroes like that. You don't ever want to see people you know in the sport you enjoy watching. You don't want to have to watch them fall apart like that.
Yeah, and then it's because it's like you'll see them in years' time, and they're
because
they look unhappy.
It's one of those things where, you know, it's just. They do all of this for the entertainment of others. You don't really want them to give everything, including, you know, their mobility to it.
The old time mentality of it, though, and it's great to see Dustin Rhodes having a different view and wanting to be able to actually walk. But like, it's the old time mentality of just do it until your body breaks.
And we're going to move over now to, we're going to keep it with AEW rather for the last story here, which is an update on William Regal's AEW status following this week's Dynamite. Obviously, it's been getting quite juicy with Regal. Well, as you said before, it's sort of the death knell of the Blackpool Combat Club, potentially. But after costing Jon Moxley the AEW World Championship at Full Gear, William Regal was set to face the music on the November 23rd, this week's edition of Dynamite, with Moxley looking for a measure of revenge. Danielson eventually calmed Moxley down, and Moxley told Regal to run and never come back, prompting speculation from some that the gentleman villain could be on his way out of WWE. Out of AEW and back to WWE, which, you know, I think has been something that people have been salivating over ever since Triple H got control of creative. But he's somebody who, you know, I think with that creative partnership from NXT as well, it's always going to be something people are talking about. But a report from Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio has stated that Regal is indeed going to be back, and that this was not him leaving AEW. So potentially
have that follow-up with MJF.
Well, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of fallout now because of what you've done. So you got to face the music, right? Yeah. But I think there's too much here for it not to have some sort of suitable featured moments for Regal, because come on.
It seems it's a shame that we can't have Regal actually get in the ring.
I know, this is the one
Moxley,
thing. Moxley, just
10 years on, 12 years on, however long it was.
Even if he had to fight every single member,
it would be amazing. But I'm glad to see him staying put in AEW, as much as the thought of him going back to WWE and working with Triple H would be incredible. I'd like to see the conclusion of this story.
Yeah, I think so as well. But me and Fraser are going to be on stream a little bit later, running down the whole of the, playing through the whole of the Survivor Series 2022 card ahead of tonight's premium live event pay-per-view. But that's going to be 2 p.m. here at youtube.com twitch.com /Cultaholic. There you go.
Twitch.tv
Twitch.tv.
There we go.
Not .com.tv.
Cultaholic shop.
I was ready for it to be on YouTube. I'm sorry, everybody. We'll catch you later.
Bye.